Hey everyone, it's Canadian Off-Road 4x4 here today, and I'm bringing you guys another review. Would you believe it already that I've had the U-Pol Raptor Liner on my truck for over a year now? Time flies. The only reason why I can always remember when I've done it is because I did it on Canada Day. Also, I guess last year was the weekend for it, but today Canada Day was on a Wednesday, which kind of sucked, right? But so anyways, I want to do a full 1 year review on my Raptor Liner job that I did. Kind of want to go over everything and how it's been, how the texture's been, you know, what have I done or what have I missed? Because obviously if you watch that long video I did, I get graded myself about like 80%, which I think is reasonable. So because I did miss some spots and had some high spots there that I'm still gonna be touching up very soon. So there's that. But I want to start it off with a review. And then I'm gonna kind of give you guys a little bit more information on Raptor Liner. I'm gonna show you guys how to reduce texture or change the texture on your Raptor Liner, and also I guess in the same sentence, touching it up. So let's get right into it. Okay, so to start off this review, we all know I did my wheels for the Raptor Liner as well. As you can see, there's no tires on it because my toes are finally off the wheels. And I thought before putting on the Coopers, I would touch it up and kind of redo the Raptor Liner on the wheels a little bit there because the texture kind of sucks with the brush technique I did. So anyways, just to kind of go over it, these are pretty much clean as it gets. I mean, they're kind of a little wet looking because they're still drying. But so for the most part, the Raptor Liner has been on pretty much 100%. I really haven't seen any nicks or like flakes or anything like that. The only thing that I kind of hate is the texture that it gave, right? So like right here, you can kind of see how aggressive the texture is there. And this is actually like, this is kind of scratch worthy. Like I'm talking like you can actually scratch yourself, but then if you look at the texture here, you can see how much smoother it is, right? So like that's really smooth there. So, but then that's where the brush I think kind of started and then gave a really rough edge. But also that's from, I think, some of the roller there too. But anyways, I'm gonna be touching up all this here. I'm gonna just kind of add another coat to it just to kind of maybe see if I can change the texture, make it a little bit smoother, and also get into the lug nut area there. I don't expect that to hold up, but I'd rather just do it just to make it all look kind of pretty. And then I also gotta do my edging because obviously I couldn't get my whole entire edge with the tire on it. So that's one wheel. This wheel is pretty much the same thing. Obviously there's a little scrape here. That's, I'm guessing that I missed it or I didn't put enough on and then the tire came off. And a little bit there. I'm just gonna say this is all just from taking off the tire. But who knows, because the tires are quite stiff to take off obviously. So there is one little nick here, which is kind of okay. Like, I mean, I curb my wheels. I wouldn't say curb my wheels, but I sometimes hit curves. I'm not afraid to hit curves with my tires. So it could have been anything, but that looks like just like a basic rock chip or something like that. So that's that on that. For the most part, this was pretty good too. I mean, I just got to do this area again too. I don't really care too much about how it looks on the wheel because, I mean, it is just the wheel, so you're not going to really see too much of the texture. They look black, they look aggressive, and I mean, they would look a lot nicer probably if they had the smooth texture to it or like they were sprayed on obviously, but they're not. So moving on to this wheel. Once again, there's a little nick here. So I mean, it's been holding up great. This one actually has a lot nice smoother texture. There's a little another nick there. The edges on this is pretty good. Just looks like I missed some spots obviously on the edge because there's some primer I see here. And then the same thing for the lug nuts. So there's that one. This one's pretty good. I don't see any issues at all with it. This one's pretty much like 100% like I just painted it. The only thing I've noticed on some of them or all of them is either, where is it? No, not there. Nope. So like right here, you can kind of see how it's a little light color there. I didn't Raptor line all on the edges there, so I've kind of missed some spots. This, on the other hand, is kind of an issue. Okay, there we go, you can see that. So the texture is so aggressive that it actually, the dirt is holding in on it. As you can see, just how rough the edges are there. So I gotta kind of smooth those out, and so that will kind of give me an idea how to show you guys how to reduce texture on these, because I'm only doing the wheels today. I'm not doing my truck yet. But anyways, so as for a review, just on this part, they're great. They're holding up well. I wouldn't recommend doing that brush technique, and I'm gonna see about trying a foam roller or something to maybe try and make it a lot smoother. I will kind of show you what I'm using now to get a really smooth texture, because I've done my mirrors already. Those mirrors were put on really aggressive with that brush, that roller I used. And also not only that though, it was probably the most aggressive texture I had, but yet it cleaned the easiest. Like I never had problems with any mud sticking on or anything, but yet on my body and all this, for some reason it just gave a weird finish. So, but I also missed some spots on the mirrors there, so I wanted to touch it up. So what I did, I'll show you guys the process of that, but I'll just say right off the bat that I have changed the texture on those, and I will show you that near the end of the video after I walk around my whole truck afterwards and show you guys the how that's doing on there too. So, but let's get into cleaning. Sorry, I've already cleaned these up, so now I'm gonna get into showing you guys how to change the texture and what preparations you need to do or what steps you have to take, and because it worked for me and it works really well. So let's get right into that. Get yourself some sort of cleaner, even your wheel cleaner or something like that, because these actually hold up really well to clean any cleaning products very well. So clean them up really well, even just soap and water, whatever. This is if you are prepping for it or even just touching it up like I'm doing now. So it's kind of the same process. So I use Moldex paint prep. I've had this bottle for quite a while because I don't use a lot of it. It doesn't need a lot. It's pretty wet stuff. So clean it up really well. Use a microfiber towel or whatever, then wipe it all dry. And then step 2 is you grab some sandpaper. My opinion, 400 grit and below. This is, what grit am I using here? This is 150 grit. I picked it up at Home Depot or whatever. I got a bunch of them or whatever. They're the 3M Pro Grade Precision. They're meant to for faster sanding, I guess, or whatever. They're pretty good. So what you gotta do is now you gotta sand either down the texture or prep your surface. Like I said, same concept. You want to sand down your surfaces and scuff it up really well. So let's get right into that. I'll just kind of give you guys a quick glimpse of that, and then I'm gonna sand it all down. Okay, so we're starting to sand here. So like I said, this is kind of the aggressive part here. So all you have to do is just fold up your paper a little bit there, or whatever you prefer, and then go to town. You don't have to press really hard, because this is, like I said, this is 150 grit. So I'm just like kind of hovering over it and just going over it like that. Like, this is no pressure. And just make sure you get all your edges. I'm just gonna scuff up this whole edge here, just so I have a good surface. And then, where's my towel here? So there's quite a bit of dust, obviously. So after you sand it down or whatever, just wipe it clean so that it kind of does that for you there. This cloth is kind of wet, so it might take a second to dry. So just wipe that clean. And obviously it'll be a little scuffed up there. So grab a dry towel here that's full of Raptor Liner. Good enough. I don't need nothing filtered. Yeah, it's still kind of wet. So then just wipe her clean, like this so. And obviously you'll see that it's kind of scored up or whatever. Like there's the edge there. It's a sanding mark, but already smooth. Yeah, this tingles like my hand right here, like that really tickles. This smooth. So that's how you kind of reduce your texture from whatever texture you may have. And then what you want to do afterwards, so I'm going to just show you right now. So I'm going to try this out and see how well this works. It's already kind of been used for primer, But like I said, I'm gonna chance it. It's just wheels, so I'll go balls to the wall anyways. So I'll see what this does here. And then another foam roller here is an option. I'm just using some lint free for a smooth finish. And I'll tell you right now, the finish is very smooth indeed. So I would recommend getting something like this. Or you can go even lighter, like this kind of little texture here. It's got some little fibers in it or whatever. But otherwise, I would go lint free and super smooth. Super smooth. There's nothing on this. So perfect kind of roller to use. Okay guys, so I've mixed my Raptor Liner. Just want to give you guys another little tip or trick here. So you know how that if you mix the hardener with the Raptor Liner, you have only a certain amount of time to use it, right? So what I did, I mean, it's pretty common knowledge, but so you need a 3-to-1 ratio, right, for the hardener with the Raptor Liner. So you got 250 milliliters here and 750 milliliters on the Raptor Liner. So I bought the roll-on kit in the States or whatever, and I didn't want to use it all at once because I wanted to touch up things here and there or whatever. I didn't want to use it all. So the ratio came up with was basically 10 servings, let's say. So you take 75 milliliters of Raptor Liner and 25 milliliters of hardener. And I had some bottles at work or whatever with milliliters labeled on them. So this was the hardener bottle. I filled it up like halfway there, obviously on the 20 to the 25 milliliters there. It's just kind of a guess, but it worked out pretty well there. So you don't need a lot of hardener. The hard part, if you can figure out another method, go ahead. But this is the Raptor bottle. The problem is though, once it hardens up or gets in there, you can't see the measuring anymore. So that's kind of a difficult thing to do. So maybe what you should do is either keep track of how much you're actually dumping in there. So because it comes in blotches. So that, or just roughly guess. It's not the end of the world, but you can do whatever way you want. And like this stuff hardens up really nicely. That's Raptor Liner, guys. It hardened up around the shell there from the other end, so it's kind of neat actually, because it's like a big rubber. It's like a rubber piece, but it's actually quite strong, so it's kind of neat. So, but there's a little tip and trick for you there. Mix it on small ratios, especially if you're just doing touch-ups. You don't have to use the whole thing, so you can buy one kit and you can have it forever, because as long as your hardener doesn't go into all the Raptor Liner, you're fine. I did my mirrors like a month ago, and I still have the jug here. Nothing's gone bad or anything, so it's good to have actually. So you can do touch-ups. You don't have to just buy a spray can that's as much as a roll-on kit that you can get twice the amount on or anything like that. So there's a nice tip and trick, and now I'm gonna start touching up all my wheels, and then I'll show you guys the results. Making progress, obviously. Yeah, look at my fingers. I've done 2 wheels so far. So when I mixed that bottle, like I said, it's kind of hard to see what's in there. It basically made the shape of the bottle inside, and when I went shaking it up, it was there, but I don't know where the liquid all went. Either it absorbed into the Raptor Liner or it went behind it or something. So I had no Raptor Liner when I mixed all this in here. So I grabbed my other bottle that was just hardener, put some in there. I did double from my regular ratio, and that got me 1 wheel and like a half. So then since this is full and I can't measure it, considering my Raptor Liner is like kind of halfway, if not more, I said screw it, I got 2 wheels to go, might as well just use it all. So I mixed in whatever hardener I had left and put it in here. I honestly think I used too much hardener at the for my first couple times, so I actually have a little less hardener in here. But yeah, so this is pretty much the finished result. Same thing as before. Just been using a brush. I tried the foam brush and it wasn't working, but I'm gonna try it maybe one more time and see if it does. This time I'm just kind of brushing it. I'm not dabbing it and getting a texture. I'm just kind of swiping it and just kind of filling it in. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this up, and then we're gonna go out to the truck and I'll show you guys exactly how my Raptor Liner is doing. All right, you guys, so here we are outside to review all the Raptor Liner that I've done on my truck. So remember, we've done all the way from the back, across, and across, and to the mirrors. So we're gonna start off with the back because that's where I started. So the texture is aggressive as shit. Like, this hurts. So I really hate that. That's why I'm gonna be doing some touch-ups to it. Start underneath here. So underneath, it looks like it's holding up pretty well. There is a few chips here. Obviously right here is just destroyed, but I mean, when you're not running any mud flaps, what do you really expect, right? So I mean, it's not looking too bad here. That's just some dirt there. I got chunks of mud sitting on here, so it's kind of throwing me off a bit. But yeah, so most part under here, it's pretty good. Just dirty and some chips or whatever, so that's not too bad. That's a dent there, so don't worry about that. Everything else is holding up great on this. What else I got? So I got some chips there, chips there. This is hurt because I hit a tree stump, so that's kind of cracked and chipped. Up here and all around, yada yada, is kind of chipped. Obviously that's just kind of normal to expect when you're doing this. Let's see. So for the most part, it's good. I'm not getting chips. This is as good as it gets, kind of thing. I mean, it is a little dusty now and dirty, but every time I wash this, it's 100%. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no fading or anything like that. It's holding up really, really well, which is what I'm glad to see. The only thing I just really hate still is the texture that I did, and obviously the high spots I have all over, and then, you know, missing spots and blah blah blah. But like, for the most part, if we go under here even, it's actually holding up really well too. It's kind of really hard to show you guys there. So I love this stuff still. I have no regrets on it. It's doing really well. It's durable as shit. You know, a lot of people hated me on this, but I have no regrets on it for being 1 year already. I still like the look of it. You know, like it adds a good little aggressive tone to it. It's not for everyone, but you don't have to hate it. You don't have to hate the product just because someone uses it on their vehicle. There's different uses for it all the time. I mean, you can use it on brackets, you can use it on handles, you know, everything. Like, it's what you want to. If you want to make your fucking eggs even, you know, Raptor proof, well, go ahead and put it on your eggs. Which I actually am demoing because I've seen Linex do that. So I'm actually gonna try that out. I Raptor lined an egg, and then we're gonna see at the very end of this video if it's actually durable or not. I'll have to give it some time to cure. So when you watch this video, it's gonna be about a week later because I want it to fully cure as much as it can. So we'll see what that's like by the next weekend there, because it's Sunday today. So, but for the most part, like I said, it's great. I just gotta redo the texture on it, so this is gonna be a lot of sanding. Like I said, for everything else, you know, the tips and tricks or whatever, you know, you sand it down, clean it up, and then apply a really smooth roller, because you already have some texture on there from your last roller. Or if you're completely doing it, just go with a foam, super foam roller kind of thing with no texture, because honestly, oh yeah, so speaking of that, so you can see here I redid my mirrors. So this is my finish to it. It's a lot nicer. I'm hoping you guys can kind of see it. Don't mind these kind of high spots. That's just the body line, so I mean, you can't really do much for that. But yeah, so I redid my mirrors. I just sanded it all down because the mirrors were the most aggressive texture, and then they're the smallest to work with, so I thought I'd try it first. When I did it with the foam roller, it was perfect. The foam roller is a lot easier. It doesn't grab as much, and you know, like I said, it doesn't have any texture to it. So when you're rolling it on, it's so super smooth that you're not gonna grab anything by accident. But this is the texture I wanted. I was hoping it was this, but I didn't realize like you kind of just see the difference there, right? So like I can't even put my nails on this because it tickles, or you know, kind of hurts. This, yeah. So that's kind of the difference there. That's the look I'm gonna go for and finish this up hopefully, and it'll look a lot better, especially with the tape lines that I, you know, screwed up on or whatever. So, and this won't hurt as bad too, because this stuff, I actually cut myself on the Raptor Liner. That's how aggressive it is. Don't do that. So that concludes pretty much the 1 year review on the Raptor Liner. Like I said, it's durable, it's easy to apply, it's affordable. There's all the tips and tricks there. Like I said, you can reduce your texture. If you really want to reduce even more texture, put some urethane in it when you mix it all, and it actually reduces the texture a little bit more. So if you want kind of a flatter look, I guess, maybe. I didn't care to spend that kind of money because it's like $30 or $40 here, I think, for like a jug. So I was like, I don't need it for that. I'll just, you know, roll it on, I'll sand it down, roll it on, and be done with it, right? So, but yeah, so that's the tips and tricks there. Like I said, you don't have to use it all at once. If you get some measuring cups, then you can just put it in little portions or whatever and use what you need. You know, if you want to paint your shackles or something, you don't have to use a whole bottle or buy a whole spray can, because once you put that hardener in, that's it. You use it all or you don't use it, or use what you can, then it's garbage. So, but definitely do that. That saves you a lot of money, and it's good for touching up stuff, obviously, there too. So that's the benefit, because I always wonder, like, well, how am I supposed to keep, you know, the Raptor liner if once I mix the hardener, it's garbage? But I mean, it's just kind of common sense, you know, just put it in a little bottle, shake it up, and go to town with it. So yeah, that's it, guys. I mean, if you have any questions about the Raptor liner, by all means, just comment below, and I'll do my best to answer it. So like I said, I gotta do some touching up on this stuff and redo a few things, and I'll love this truck forever. So I mean, the stuff is durable. It's pretty scratch proof from what I've seen. Like, I've put this thing, I've smacked my mirrors a handful of times, I put it in the branches, and this thing doesn't even get phased by scratches anymore. So I'm kind of glad about that, because like I said, my whole bottom portion was just brutally destroyed from branches and stuff. So it's like no point of holding on to paint, you know. I could have just stuck with the whole body line thing, but like I said, as a detailer standpoint, it doesn't make sense to me, because that little portion of paint there, it's just another spot to, you know, get chipped away, and then I have to do it anyways. So, but yeah, I'm gonna think of anything last minute here, and if anything else comes up, I'll let you know. If not, bye bye, guys. Stay tuned for more videos. I guess I should show you the other side just to be safe on this, you know. It's just to kind of give you guys a better idea. So there's the whole shebang. Like I said, it's not faded, it's great, it looks great. There's the mirror, so that gives you kind of a better idea there of how that looks there, with a nice smooth texture to it. So that's the finish you want, in my opinion. So either use a very light aggressive roller, or use a foam roller and go to town with it, and you'll be happy. So it's kind of weird, because this stuff actually kind of is got a different texture to it compared to the other side, just because of how the rollers worked, I guess. So, but like I said, expect some rock chips in it, especially when you're doing it around these areas, obviously, because it obviously won't hold up forever, because I mean, this gets abused. And I think that's actually rust right here, so that's something I'm gonna have to pay attention to. That's not good. I guess that's what happens when you don't run mud flaps. So maybe I'll think of some sort of plastic guard or 3M to put over it or something like that. So that's looking like a little bit of rust under there. So, because I mean, this is all bare now. Well, no, this shouldn't be bare. So, but I'm guessing it's flaking so much because of all the rocks I'm spitting at it. But then if we go underneath here, it's just chips on the edges there. I'm not seeing any rust. It looks like just chunks of dirt are sitting under here. Yeah, that's just dirt there. Yeah, so we're good for the most part. So, but like I said, it's the game you play when you live on gravel roads like these all day, and you spin tires like a son. Plus, this is the tire that spins more, obviously, because the other tire doesn't spin, because this is one wheel peel truck, right? So that tire spins a lot. So I might have to look at doing some sort of plastic guard around it, or just do a lot more Raptor liner, and hopefully it holds up better. I'll have to really sand that down and then put some good primer over it and cake it up so it kind of holds up a little bit better. So that's something I'll pay attention to. So all right, guys, and one other thing. So you saw my hands, right? If you got Raptor liner on it, either wait for it to cure and then it kind of turns into a rubber on your hands, or if you have Scotch Brite Scotch pads at home, put your hands under warm water, soap first, and then take the Scotch pad and scrub your hands. It'll tickle, maybe hurt a little bit, but it helps get off the Raptor liner on your hands. And more or less, just wear gloves. This shit sucks. Adios, guys.